Everybody, Daily Distinction time. Glad that you are here today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join me for a few minutes. I'm at the hotel in Cleveland, and today is a recorded version of Daily Distinction. Just so you know, if I'm not responding to what you posted, I recorded this a little early because we are having a group function today at this time at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I've never been before. Tammy has been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 15, 16 years ago, I think she was saying. But my first trip, I'm really looking forward to it and really excited about that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Not about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but about being a Hall of Famer. That's the conversation today. What does it take to become a Hall of Famer, whether it's in rock and roll? By the way, the Pro Football Hall of Fame has their induction ceremony coming up this weekend. So what does it take to get in the Hall of Fame? That's what we're going to be talking about. But before we get into that, I do want to remind you about the Iconic Inner Circle. And if you are watching this live, well, it's recorded, but if you're watching it at our regular time for Daily Distinction, or you're watching it later on the replay, it'd really mean the world if you just take a moment and share this so that we can help grow our audience. If you like what we talk about on Daily Distinction, just share it if you would, please. And check out iconicinnercircle.com. You get programs on storytelling, how you write and tell a great story that'll help promote your business or promote what you do. How you get better at communicating virtually. What does it take to create personal distinction? And we have weekly distinction lessons for you as well, and more. All right there. Hey, the first month's on me. It's absolutely free. Just join us at iconicinnercircle.com. All right. So the question is, what's it take to become a Hall of Famer? And as I was looking at the Rock Hall of Fame and some of the members of that, as I'm looking at the incoming class and the existing group of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I'm very fortunate to be a part of two halls of fame, the Sales and Marketing Hall of Fame and the Professional Speakers Hall of Fame. And you know what's it take? What does it take to be a Hall of Famer? And look, being good at what you do isn't good enough, right? Being excellent at what you do isn't really good enough to get you in a Hall of Fame. I think if there's one thing that you could say that qualifies somebody to be in the Hall of Fame, it's uniqueness. There's something about what you do that stands out. So when we think of a singer or a band in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, there is something about their sound or something about what they do that makes them unique at what they do. I mean, whether it's the harmony of the Eagles, the soaring vocals of Whitney Houston, the incredible guitar wizardry of Jimi Hendrix. I mean, you name it, there is something very unique about what they do. And that's really hard to quantify. I mean, for example, there are certain numbers that get you in the Hall of Fame in professional football. You know, you have to have this many yards as a running back or whatever. But it's not just straight up and down the list. There are some that get in sooner because there was a uniqueness to how they approached the game, or there was a uniqueness to the kind of teammate they were, or the things that they would do. So, in other words, an important aspect of this is it's not just doing what you do extraordinarily well. It's finding a special something that makes you stand out, right? I mean, there's something. It's not just the numbers that you get. It's not just how many hit records that you had. It's doing that special something that makes you stand out. And uniqueness begins with clarity. It's finding something that you are clear about. You know, there are no cover bands in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It begins with clarity of here's what I'm doing, here's how I'm going to do it, and here's how I'm going to stand out at doing it. So that's really the message of today. What's one thing? Don't, it's not that you do everything differently. I mean, when you look at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, when you look at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame we're going to be visiting today, it's not that they did everything differently. It's that they kind of found one thing that would make them stand out from the crowd, that would make them a little different from the rest. So what's the one thing? What is one thing? And if you don't know, hey, that's part of what the Iconic Inner Circle will help you discover. If you don't know how to make it unique, that's part of what the Iconic Inner Circle will help you find. But that's what I want to encourage you today just to think about. The one thing that you can do just a little differently. It might be. I wrote in one book about the dairy salesperson who used to call on our grocery store many years ago, and he always had a flower in his lapel. And that one flower in his lapel that he would wear as he would come in to make a sales call made him stand out from all the other sales professionals that called on us, regardless of their specialty. It was just one thing. He was really good at what he did, and no doubt about that. But that one thing made him stand out. That it might be something as simple as always wearing a flower or always wearing black or whatever that might be. It can be very small, but there has to be something that's one thing that makes you unique, that makes you stand out, that helps you get to the point that you become a Hall of Famer. And by the way, there are a lot of great musicians that aren't in the Hall of Fame, but by aspiring to be unique, it moved their career to greater heights. There's a lot of great baseball players, football players, you name the sport, that never make the Hall of Fame of their profession, but the pursuit of that uniqueness helps take their career to a very distinctive level. So get on it. Find the one thing that will make you unique. And as my friend Larry Winget says, exploit your uniqueness for the good of all. That's what will help you create distinction. Hey, from Cleveland and soon to be at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, thanks for watching today. Once again, check out iconicinnercircle.com. Would love to have you there, and I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow on the next edition of Daily Distinction. Have a great day, everybody. See you soon.